These theories will make you question everything. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
More. So aliens.
What's a conspiracy theory that absolutely blows your mind?
That human beings are not actually human because we all have different types of alien DNA within us. This is something I personally believe. Hear me out. The theory is that when the Earth was found, it was actually found by different races of aliens. And the way the human race was come to form was because we were manipulated genetically and we actually are from them. You want to get really wild with it? Some of us are aware of this ET DNA, and it acts as a transmitter to the cosmos. And we can actually communicate with our star brothers and star sisters. To take it a step further, these beings are thousands and millions of years beyond us. And some of us can tap into that DNA and get superhuman powers as a result. The wildest one. As a result, these beings are our family. And some say this year they were trying to make a reunion with us. If this resonates with you, sound off in the comments, tell me your stories.
Entertain it with me for a second, right? You ever watched a show, maybe America's Got Talent or something like that, World's Strongest Man or something like that? You look at them and you're like, man. Think about it. Could we be descendants of aliens? Some of that superhuman strength or some of that talent, some of the things people are able to do. You've looked at somebody you know or somebody on TV once and said, man, that person ain't from here, man. How do they do that? How do they contort their body into all different types of ways and stuff like that? How did they do that? Where did they get the ability? Could we be descendants? I don't know. Maybe they were able to tap into their powers and you just ain't tapped into yours yet. Maybe you've had somebody tell you, man, how do you even do that? That's crazy. Maybe the way we dream also lets us know that we're descendants. Think about certain things we see in movies. Scale it down a little bit and you're like, man, we can do some of that type of stuff. Scale it back a little bit. A lot of that stuff is exaggerated and dramatized for the movie, but other than that, I'm just saying certain things point to us possibly being, hey.
The only hardcore thing is that there is an extremely classified document dealing with religion, and it's about that section. Period. But why would there be any classified material dealing with religion?
I want to go back to the religion thing. I want you to say it. It's so far out. All right, your objection has been noted.
Okay.
What does it say?
That we're containers. That's how supposedly the aliens look at us. That we are nothing but containers.
Containers of?
Containers. Maybe containers of souls. You can come up with whatever theory you want, but we're containers. And that's how we're mentioned in the document. That religion was specifically created so we have some rules and regulations for the sole purpose of not damaging the containers. The only hardcore thing is that...
How many of y'all grew up hearing your body, you're a vessel, you're a vessel? That's all that keeps like ping-ponging around in my brain. That's the word that keeps ping-ponging right now. A vessel, you're a vessel, you're a vessel. Or your body's your temple, protect your temple, this, that, and it was several different things, but vessel being the main one that I heard growing up. Are we containers? What are we? I can already see, man, we deep down the rabbit hole tonight. Because a lot of y'all are sitting there shaking your head like, yep, I was told. A vessel. Holy.
Humans are alien hybrids, and our consciousness is extraterrestrial. At the time of death, our consciousness goes somewhere else. And you know how I know this? Because I had a near-death experience. But yet so many people are scared of death. I'm not scared of death. I actually look forward to when my time is up on this planet. Because I know my consciousness is going to go somewhere else, and my body is going to be different. Probably not going to be in this body anymore. Each strand of our junk DNA was created from a different alien race. So do you know how powerful you are? Right now we're going through an ascension, and we're ascending not just the fifth dimension, but we're going all the way to the 12th dimension. Some of us have 12 DNA strands, which means, each one of those strands from a different alien race. Some of us have 24 to 30 strand DNA. That's also from different alien races. I'm gonna dig a type 1 starseed. I had a near-death experience. So I have 30 to 48 strand DNA template. And my near-death experience took place, it happened back in 2000, and this was to trigger my awakening. So my spiritual awakening wasn't gradual, guys. It was like my third eye opened completely and I started to see things in the spirit realm for like about a good 3 weeks. I was terrified because remember, I came from a Muslim family background, so I had no idea. None of them knew anything about these, these type of things, right? But guys, they're all around us. And if you open your third eye, you'll be able to see them. And I know a lot of people are struggling, especially when it comes to like meditation. So guess what? I wrote a meditation book and I'm giving it all to you guys for free. Okay? Click on the link in my bio and download your copy. So let me know in the comments, are your third eye open?
I don't know about my third eye being open and all of that type of stuff, but she reminds me of when she started talking about the whole death thing, you know what I mean? And her soul and going to another body and stuff like that, you know? I was never one to really talk about it. I still don't. You notice I may talk about different things, but when we get on like the death talk, I kind of cringe up a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I've always been like that when it comes to death. But it made me think of, her references made me think of the whole story of people saying, you know, when you see that bright light, it's actually a hospital, baby being born, you're crying because you realize that now your soul is in this body, you have a new body, everything you worked hard for in the previous life is gone, the family that you had, you no longer see, all that type of stuff is instantly before it's erased, you're dealing with. So that's why they say it's the cry as a baby comes into the world. That's where some people believe, you know what I mean? So her saying that made me kind of think of that, you know? But yeah, I kind of shy away from the whole, I told y'all, man, I still haven't watched Passion of the Christ, like stuff like that. I'd be like, no, but I be deep in these conspiracy theories, but I pick and choose, fam. Some of them I'd be like, all right, man, that's a little too far, too much, all right?
Yeah. I was hired in December of 1988 to replace one of these men. These beings conveyed information about the capability of affecting the human brain to anesthetize the human body. This is done without any physical contact from a remote source. For this anesthesia to be accomplished, the brain has to be in a relaxed state similar to that required for hypnosis. If the brain is subject to any external stimulation like stimulant drugs or loud music, this manipulation of the nervous system is ineffective. These beings said that man was the product of externally corrected evolution. They said that man, as a species, had been genetically altered 65 times. They refer to humans as containers, yet I don't know what we're containers of. As I'm sure you now know, it was an hospital. I was hired in December of 1988 to replace one of these men. These beings conveyed information about the capability of affecting the human brain to anesthetize the human body.
So now, with the video you watched, or we watched the other day about hypnosis and different things like that, and the stories you hear about what could be happening to the brain, the human brain, how we could be programmed, how we could be hypnotized, different things we see they do to us. It's control. Control, control, control. Now think about social media. Control, control through your brain. What you see, what you taking into your brain controls. See? Yeah.
You know, the Andromedans say that the divine plan is one of freedom. Any savior that comes down here and implements a government to save us, freedoms will be taken away from you.
So that whole system of belief was part of the system of control that was set up in the first place.
That's right. A lot of it has been Gray and Orion manipulations.
Okay.
And if you have time travel, it's very easy to go back in time and manipulate the future. It's very easy. And this they've done in an incredible way.
I can't even begin to imagine what events they have manipulated in history to change our course of evolution. For what purpose and why? TikTok, this is just for entertainment purposes only.
You know, they haven't been here thousands of years like our government says. The Greys have really only been here 59 years. Travel capabilities, they've gone back in time and they've been able to manipulate series of historical events to bring us to where we are now, to where we are asking for somebody to come in and save us. And they're already here. And if we ask because of our free will you please save us, well then we've asked for it. And we've gotten exactly what it is that we deserved because we didn't take responsibility as a race to fix our own problems and to deal with our own problems. We kept looking outside of ourselves. And, you know, this is why the Andromedans are so strong about us growing up and really taking responsibility for it.
Sounds like to me another reset is on the rise. They let us get to a point to where they may possibly feel they need to step in. And when they step in, that's probably when the reset happens. And we start over and we try this thing again until, you know how it was back in the day when you were young? What your parents tell you? You're going to keep doing this and get it over and over again until you get it right. Maybe that's what's about to happen. That reset button for us to start over and try this thing again, because we clearly ain't got this thing right. We're pitted against each other. We're arguing with wars, different things back and forth. We can't come together for nothing. So.
But if you look at people, one of the weird things about people is how much we vary. You know, I mean, if you really think about it, we're so different than every other primate. There's not even anything close to us. And if you look at ancient primates and us, the leap between them and us is so quick. The doubling of the human brain size over a period of 2 million years is just bonkers. Like, they don't know why. They don't know what happened. Like, look, chimps are still chimps, right? They're still murdering each other. They're still doing the same things they've been doing for thousands and thousands of years, whereas we're living in condominiums and watching cable. If all those biblical stories and all these ancient texts that do talk about beings that come down from upon high, if all that really is aliens intervening with the biological evolution of human beings, how weird are we that we're some stupid science experiment? But if you look at people,
that's what I think. When we eventually, hopefully, get the truth, it's gonna be mind-blowing. It's gonna be mind-blowing when we find out. Maybe that's what happens when you transition. You find out what's been happening all along. Were we some kind of weird effed up experiment going on? Test study? Vessel sent here to do work for them? Like, when we find out the actual truth that we're seeking, man, our minds are it's gonna be mind-blowing beyond belief. And we're gonna be like, what? This was actually the truth? Or you're gonna be like, this is what it really was? This is what we were doing? We had no clue. Running around thinking we were in control.
if you're going to go deep in the rabbit hole, there's like the grays that everybody talks about, and then there's another thing called the tall whites. The people have described them, they almost look like Scandinavian or something like that, like pale skin. Some alien life is probably, 100,000 years ahead of us, 700,000 years ahead of us, 1,000,000 years ahead of us. But some alien life is probably millions and millions of years ahead of us. They probably don't want to f with us anymore. But I bet that intelligence reaches that moment where you can join the intergalactic hive of minds. And the civilization reaches some insane harmony with the very universe itself.
Right.
That's probably where it goes if you don't blow yourself up. If you're going to go deep in the rabbit hole.
Exactly what I was just saying. We got to get to the point where we can't progress further to where we need to be if we don't stop going at each other. We're our own biggest enemy. We're holding us back from achieving whatever it is, or competing, or moving forward as much as we're supposed to be. They're probably 700,000 or 1,000,000 miles ahead of us because of they're not doing the things. They're not in the wars. They're not going back and forth with each other. They probably look at us and be like, yo, as they would say, that they're ghetto. They probably look at us and like, yo, they ghetto, fam. Earth? Don't go there, man. You want to go to a nice planet, just don't go to Earth. Yeah, they got issues. Yeah, I mean, that's why they so far behind. What they would tell us, we're in that classroom. That classroom, yeah. That's what Earth is, that classroom. That's what they would consider us.
Did aliens make humans? Because there's a theory out there that actually says that we are the aliens. And it has more validity than you first might think. But before I go any further, I have to give a disclaimer, or we all know they're going to take this video down. This video was made strictly for entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this video should be considered factual. These are just our theories, and this video is made for fun. And let's just go ahead and say the whole damn video is scripted. Hopefully that's good enough. Now let's get into it. So humans are the smartest and most advanced species on the planet, obviously, with crystal clear evidence of intelligent design behind us. Now, the government will tell you that we evolved from primates into the Homo sapiens that we are today. But like anyone with a brain can tell that that's not true, because like, where are the half primates, half humans that are mid-evolving right now? It just doesn't make any sense. And if we really did evolve, then why don't we have another species on this planet that is like equally as intelligent as us and like as advanced as we are? Why are we the most advanced species?
And if we do see anything like that, that to me lets me believe, okay, were they experimenting with our DNA? What have they been doing with our DNA?
Here. Well, this theory goes that around 6000 BC, an alien race known as the Anunnaki came here to Earth. They studied all the species here, but they were very interested in primates. Now, if you don't know, the Anunnaki were very big on genetic experimentation. They started messing with the DNA of primates and accelerated it, turning primates into us, Homo sapiens. According to this theory, they did this to leave their mark and carry their bloodline on this planet, creating a new breed of beings gifted with extraordinary intelligence and extraordinary consciousness. And then supposedly they helped us by sharing their technology and guiding humanity and slowly pushing us towards what we have achieved and become today. So according to this theory, once their job was done, they left. And that's why you always see UFOs like in the sky hovering over us but never really interacting. Because they're here to check on their creation and to monitor us. Okay, but here is where the theory gets really wild. And depending on your opinion, could even transfer over from theory to fact. So there is an old archaeologist by the name of Zacharias Sitchin, and he has translated Old Sumerian text which speaks about the Anunnaki. He actually translated the book of Enki, Enki being a known Sumerian god, at least one of the known Sumerian gods. And in the book of Enki, it talks about all of this. Essentially, it says that the missing link between humans and primates is alien DNA. Or in other words, DNA that they don't know where it is or where it originated from. So this is actually like crazy interesting and something you all should look into if you haven't already. But what do you think? Could humanity really be the result of alien experiments that were conducted in 6000 BC? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. And as always...
So why don't we don't look in the ocean? Because I feel like most of the things in the ocean comes from another planet. So maybe we could check the DNA from that and then see if that's what's the missing link with our DNA. I ain't saying create something or try to figure out or piece something together. I'm saying just look at it, compare, look at different things, man. Things that could have ended up here. I mean, all of us could have ended up here from that. We could all be descendants of aliens, Anunnaki, who knows? Who knows? But we need to compare all DNA from different things and see what's the... I think we've been looking at DNA from a different standpoint from so long. Now we need to look at it as a way to link us to possible alien life, is what I'm saying now.
Everyone keeps freaking out that aliens are real and the government's just told us about it. Number one, they told us over the first lockdown. And number two, it's like you've never had a conversation with my father, because I've known this since I exited the womb. I'm pretty sure my dad's first words to me were, "Be careful, there's aliens about." Everyone keeps freaking out that aliens are real and the government's just told us about it. Number one, they told us over the first lockdown. And
not my parents. I don't even think my parents have ever even spoke anything about aliens. I told y'all, my mom, no. She's religious, so that would never... And then my pops, he was the type, and you even cut on a horror movie or anything like that, he's leaving the room. He don't want nothing to do with any of that type of stuff like that. So this is all my own interests. I derive this from myself because no one in my family, you know what I mean, even talked about or sat down at the dinner table and had a conversation about aliens, extraterrestrials. Never had those talks. And then when I lived with my grandma, no, if it wasn't old Western cowboy movies, Matlock, or Murder, She Wrote, or In the Heat of the Night, there wasn't no conversation from her about anything that was going on in the world. And she worked at Walmart. So I never really had nobody to sit down and have these kind of conversations with. I didn't. So this is just piquing my interest from over the years.
All right, think about it, guys. This is Polk's theory, P-O-L-K. Human beings are the aliens to this planet. All other species on this planet can talk to each other, but they can't talk to us, right? Where we understand it. But they can talk to each other where they understand it. Also, we eat just about every other species on this planet, and we take their resources. And, to top it all off, all these other species survive on Earth without humans doing anything to help them survive. We need help from, you know, we have to build homes, we have to build ways to travel and stuff like that to survive. They don't have to do that. So think about it. Think about it. And we eat them. We take their resources. Human beings are aliens. Alright, think about it.
Seems to be a lot of people are of the belief that humans can potentially be aliens, man. I didn't think it would be that many people talking about it, discussing it, open to the fact that that could possibly be the case. And their arguments for it shows me that they're really looking into this. Like the argument he just made, I'm sitting back thinking, I'm like, never really looked at it that way. You know what I mean? How we are, how we behave in our habitat, what we do, what we always say about aliens. They'll come down, maybe we have something that we want, so we'll take they'll take our resources or something. You know what I mean? So I've heard stories about them saying this planet was being mined for gold, and that's why they were here. So he's making sort of that same similar type of argument about us doing that to other species. So what makes us any different from them?
Human to alien explained.
Would end up looking like this.
Aliens, I like this theory. Let's dive into it. Shamanic Power. If y'all watched the video that I stitched in front of this one, she's basically talking about human evolution, about how humans are eventually going to turn into smarts and then use our smarts to overthrow our body and make our body more smarter. So let's dive into that. All right, from my shamanic experience and me going back and talking to deities and angels and other people, other beings, energies and lights and darknesses and stuff like that. And I actually talk to aliens too. You can actually communicate with things. You can communicate with your higher version of yourself and your future alien self. So these things are true. It's just one of those things, once you wake up to it, is it really going to happen now? Now that I know, I see myself as an alien in the future, I see myself in the sky. Now, am I going to waste my time becoming an alien knowing this thing? But knowing that the human experience is to live every experience, yeah, you're going to have to be an alien. To be honest, the path that we are going on with the alien and how we're going to have the bigger brains and the eyes that can see in the dark time, just like how an alien looks, we're not truly going on that path. That's what the government and everything is trying to deter us from. They try to put it all in the machine, in the computer, so the computer can do all the work for us. If you look at the information they've been putting out, they've been saying basically they can store a whole human origin time of DNA on into like one little speck of a human skin. It can hold that much information, but a human can do that, and that's trying to use our memory and our chips in our body to store that energy. But now we listen to our inorganic people about information that needs to be organic, about us holding that big amount of information in this little amount of space in our brain and our energy. And now these people that are giving this information don't truly know how to use it or know how to use the brain capacity, so we don't have to rely on machinery, basically. In a nutshell, we want to store as much memory of the earth, of information as possible on our own brain without putting it in this computer, and we have to watch a computer, listen to a computer, now receive the information back. We want to be able to just collect all the information to upgrade your brain to a PS5, because y'all been working with a PS2 brain for years and centuries. Once you learn how to meditate and practice using your brain, then you can store all of this information that they are trying to use, and then we gonna be good. So upgrading the human body is gonna be purposeless because you're gonna lose emotion and feelings.
Human to alien.
Yo, where did he get his sources and who is he talking to? He is way deeper than I ever thought I would be able to get to, fam. I don't know where he went with his mind just then, but that was insane. But he made some points though that I want to look into. You know what I mean? the whole PS2, PS5 thing up, elevating your brain and stuff like that, that kind of lends itself to me as the whole simulation conversation. You know, as we progress forward, move forward in our own, whether it's our own individual simulation or the simulation as a whole that has all of us in it, kind of like the metaverse or something like that. How do we exist in it? How do we progress forward in it? How do we go from level 1 to level 2, level 3? You know what I mean? It's not always just with getting older. It's not. So how do we move or progress forward in this simulation, and what does that mean? You know, is there some type of score we have? How have we been dealing with things? How is our brain progressing? I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna need a drink now, cause now he got my brain somewhere else thinking about this. So I wanna sit down and digest this one. So we're gonna end it right here with this one, man. But y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of these theories and questions and different things like that, man. Where does it take your brain at? What do you get from it? We all think differently, so what I thought may be totally different from what you got from it. So I want to know. Put it in the comment section, leave a like, share the video, and stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone.